Hey, Shalom and Shalom on the South. Souls by giving no praise to Yahweh, Shem Al Shah, Shem Kodash, that belongs to the apostles of GMS, and honestly, brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and sincerity. This one gonna be one on topic that seems to be in the spotlight at the moment, and that is on the issue of these heathens, man. Look, these heathens, according to the Most High, mean nothing. They are nothing, right? And really, they're there to serve the children of Israel, right? They ain't gonna be on an equal footing with the children of Israel and the kingdom. No, that we are above and they are beneath, right? It's the second Ezra 6 from verse 54. And after these, Adam also, right? So people are like, oh, we all come from Adam, right? It says, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Right? So everyone, people say, yeah, we all come from Adam. Yeah, this is true. Right? But from that, right, the Lord created nations from among those people, and one of those nations was the nation of Israel, which was the chosen nation. Right? It says, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. You think about Isaac, for instance. He had two sons, right? One of them was the Israelites, and one of them was the what do you call it, the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever, right? The Edomites, man, right? So it goes on and says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, whom thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, right? And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel, right? So that's quoting Isaiah 40 and 15, which says, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and accounted as a small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles a very little thing. So when you consider this, you imagine like in the land of Ham, where you see the women, or maybe I can't even say that, but in regions where you have to carry the water, you might see the women. They'll do this thing where they put maybe a cloth on their head and then put a large bucket of water on their head and walk with the bucket of water. Now, if they drop a little bit of water, they ain't stressing. Why? Because they got the rest of the bucket. That's how these nations are counted as. Or if you're into baking or whatever, and you have you're weighing out 500 grams of flour. Now, if the scales has a little bit of flour on it before, you don't care, right? And once again, that's how these nations are viewed as nothing, right? And now, O Lord, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, and that is true. Right, for instance, you think of what is this? Ecclesiastes 10:7, is it? Yeah, 10:7. I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Right. So you got the children of Israel that are supposed to be the princes, but at the moment we're in a lower state. But why are we in a lower state? Because we went off against the Most High and we're being rightfully judged for our transgressions. Now, what the Lord is about to do, He's about to correct the balance. He's about to correct everything into its rightful order, because actually those nations, as we just read, that devour us, they should have never done that. This is Jeremiah 16:16. Behold, that's not the one I want. Was it 30:16? Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So you think about Psalms the 83rd chapter when it lists, says, they that are confederate against thee, right, made a tumult. And then basically say, list the enemies of the children of Israel, which ultimately all these heathens are enemies. So then how can we be of equal footing if the punishment for uh, uh, the punishment for them putting us in captivity is that they shall go into captivity, right? And they will always be below us. I mean, that's the first 1,000 years of the kingdom, right? These heathens being in subjection under us, right? So yeah, we read that there, so shall go into captivity and they shall be a spoil. So they go and be underneath us, man. This is Isaiah 14:2. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So in the kingdom, we're going to be ruling over our oppressors, right? So when you read that again, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. So these heathens are lords over us, right? They've done wickedly over us. But guess what? Because we're the apple of the Lord's eye, we gonna get revenge. It says Zechariah 2:8. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory that he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. So Israel is likened as the apple of the Most High's eye. What about these other nations? They ain't listed here. They ain't listed here. Why? Because they, as we read in Isaiah 40 and 15, they are reputed as nothing. It says, but we thy people whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thine only begotten, and thy fervent love are given into their hand. If the world now, and this is the thing, if the world now be made for our sake, what made for the children of Israel, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? And that's the question that we're asked. That's the question starting off with the apostles on down that we're wondering. How long are we going to be in this low position? How long are we going to be in this lower state? Because what we want to be delivered out of this so that we can be in the righteous, not right, but in the right place that we're supposed to be, right, as children of Israel. It says Revelation 2:26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Right? And who's this referring to? This is referring to the children of Israel. It says, he that overcometh of the children of Israel and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And what will that entail? It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. So we're gonna have full power over these heathen, right? This is Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Now who is Moses speaking to here? He's speaking to the children of Israel. The Lord Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So once again, children of Israel above everyone else. At the moment, while we were in a lower state, once again, because of our transgression, because of our sin. It says Amos 3, and verse 2, is it? It says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I'll punish you for you all your iniquities. So that's the reason why we're in this lower state, because you read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, the first 15 verses, like, hey, you follow the laws, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, that's going to happen, it's going to be all blessed. But guess what? That's not what the Most High wanted. It was always a part of the Most High's plan to use Yahweh Shai, rather for Israel to fall off, and then for the Most High to be like, look, I ain't dealing with you anymore, so that he can use Yahweh Shai to be a mediator between the children of Israel and himself. Right? When you read, was it Colossians? I believe it says all things were made for him, referring to Yahweh Shai. All things were made for him and by him. So Yahweh Shai was there from the beginning. So I'll read that again, Amos 3:2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore will I punish you for all your iniquities. Let me just see if there's something that I want here now. It's Ezekiel 35. Da, da, da. Let me see this one. Yeah, I can kind of, I'll get it. I'll kind of get it. It's, kind of touches on the point. But it's Ezekiel 35 and 5. So because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, this is, referring to the Edomites from the beginning. You read that uh, in the story of the serpent about, thy seed and her seed. And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in their time that their iniquity had an end. So the children of Israel, we were given into the hand of these heathens for our punishment. But guess what? These Edomites, they went too far, right? I believe there's a precept which better touches on that, but I forget where it is. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sif thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So for all of the wickedness that these Edomites have done, guess what? They go and pay for it. And you know what? That's the one that I wanted. It says Zechariah 1:15. It says, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. That's it. That's the one that I wanted. Because the children of Israel, as read in Amos 3 and 2, were given into the hand of the wicked. But guess what? These heathens went too far. But it's okay, because we read it in Jeremiah 30 and 16. All they that devour thee shall be devoured. And that is your punishment for touching the apple of the Lord's eye. Right? What's the Lord doesn't care about these other heathens. That's why it's, the scriptures are saying these things in that way, right? So let me just close with a little with some precepts for your reading. This is, I'm just going to pick and choose some. It's Deuteronomy 32 and 8, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Psalms 105 and 6, O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. Psalms 148:14, it says, he also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints. Even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye Yahweh. Isaiah 45 and 4, for Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I've even called thee by thy name. I've surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Jeremiah 51:19 says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the form of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh of hosts is his name. Joel 2:27, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am Yahweh your power, and none else. Right? My people shall never be ashamed. Sirach 33 and 10, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. In much knowledge the Lord hath divided them, and made their ways diverse. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them has he sanctified and set near himself. Those are the Israelites. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low, and turned out their places. All right. This is 2 Ezra 5 and 27. Among all the multitudes of people, thou hast gotten thee one people, and unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest the Lord that is approved of all. Luke 1:68. Blessed be Yahweh, power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, right? The children of Israel. So as always, Lord's what I was edifying. Till the next time I say, Shalom.